regional matchup that we have here. Jesse, I know this is something you're particularly excited about.
This should be a good game. We got the battle for Brazil. These two teams, W7m versus Team Liquid, they have played each other so many times for the past. No games this year, but last year they played each other 20 times on 20 different maps, and it was a 10-10 record throughout all of last year.
And it's not just that they've played each other so many times, it's the importance of some of these games. You know, in majors, we said it about W7m getting knocked out in majors by Brazilian teams. Liquid was one of those teams last year. You know, there's a big match between, a big respect, don't get me wrong, but a big rivalry between these two teams as well.
Yeah, it's really been these two squads who have rivaled for the top of Brazil, right? FaZe Clan's absolutely in there as well, yes. And at many points in times, FaZe Clan was undisputedly the best in Brazil.
Agreed.
When you win a major, that's going to happen. But these two squads at different points in time have also been undisputably best in Brazil, and it's possible that the winner of this will also play FaZe, because FaZe is 2-0 right now in the Swiss FaZe, and these two squads as well, whoever wins this, 2-0.
How are we thinking about it, though? Do we think Team Liquid is gonna reign supreme, come out even stronger?
I think obviously we've seen W7m through the group stage, but Team Liquid we've only seen, you know, once yesterday, right. and they were playing with their food, right? There's no way, but they were toying with Revan, and I think, you know, they'll be obviously having a lot of confidence, but Liquid, before this tournament, a lot of people were expecting them to do well. They came out, they were flawless. So they're riding a high. Of course, we've got to expect them to do well.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid, undefeated through all rounds, technically. They played one game 7-0.
I wanted to put a stat out there. I was like, who's the best attacking team? Oh, it's Liquid, 100%. Who's the best defensive team? Liquid, 100%. One game, 7 rounds.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I think KZ and W7m, I mean, that is a scary team. KZ is playing, I think, top of his game right now, which is saying something because he's an insane career. But at this tournament, he's been showing up every single match throughout the play-ins, and even yesterday looked fantastic.
Now, you did mention that these teams have played against each other numerous times. So when it comes down to the map veto, what direction do we kind of want to go in?
Well, this is where it all gets a bit funky, because as soon as the map veto comes in, you're going to see Bank. Now, by preference, W7m have played it, but not this stage. It's been their permaban the whole stage. By preference for Liquid, it's low. These teams are respecting each other that much, and they're trying to play mind games with each other that much. They've both gone to a map that they don't really like for the other. I think it's maybe a case of they've both been trying to save it as much as possible, knowing that this is probably their biggest opponent they might face in this whole bracket. They want to get through this game.
W7m whipping out a permaban. Liquid maybe not expecting this for the final map, right? Final choice you can see there is W7m's. They go to a map which they haven't played all stage long. They last played it at SI. They went 0-2, both games against G2. So a bit of a curveball at the end maybe has been catching Liquid off guard.
To what degree, though, do we think Liquid will be able to read them like a book or vice versa?
These guys know each other. You know, we haven't even spoke about the fact that Volps used to be on the W7m roster, right? You know, there's players on each team, they know each other very well. There's players that used to be on W7m. They know each other maps. They'll scrim each other, for, you know, no doubt, especially with them being in different groups in Brazil as well. So I don't think it's that much of a curveball. I think when we see Brazil against Brazil teams, map bans do get a little funky between the two as they try and play mind games. So I think Liquid will have been ready for it.
Dare I ask you both for a prediction?
Oh.
I'll go first. I'll grab it. I really been impressed with KZ. I think W7m have been crushing it through the tournament so far. Liquid are a great team, and you know, bringing over one of their players, they're gonna have maybe an inside edge. But I'm liking W7m. This is them bringing out a permaban map. I'll go them.
He's just gone against a team that hasn't lost a round in this tournament. Yeah, I've got to go for Liquid.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm going to throw it over to Guz and Xenox to take us through this match.
Yeah, I guess haven't lost a round. It is true. It is technically correct. Both teams coming into this one undefeated.
Technically.
Well, technically. Thank you, Mr. Waffle. Letting everyone know, by the way, these are little waffles.
Yeah, I can't wait to waffle on about this one with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit the same. I made that joke off camera. But look, bit of a storm in the teacup this game, right? We have number 2, number 3 from Brazil, but they have not crossed paths in stage 1.
What?
Yeah, W7m, Group A. Liquid, Group B of the Brazil League, and then they're on opposite sides of the bracket, so they never actually faced off. So this is going to be an exciting one. Volps as well jumping across to Liquid. Both teams playing mind games in the map veto.
Both undefeated.
Oh, we couldn't hype this one up anymore.
No, we certainly could. We got to bank for this one. Second last game of the day here for day 2 of the playoffs. Big game. Yeah, as I said, Volp's going up against his old roster here. Should be an exciting one. And both of these two, of course, coming off very dominating performances yesterday for Liquid. What a statement. Obviously making their way into the playoffs from phase, well, without having to play phase 1. 7-0 over Falcons. And obviously for W7m, who played the play-ins, well, 7-1 over Scars. Absolute dominant performance too. So both teams 1-0. Who can go 2-0? We'll have to wait to find out. We head to bank and we head into the ban phase.
I gotta say, on a personal level, I am probably setting this, my expectation as this being one of the best games, if not maybe the best we've seen at the tournament thus far, just because of the storylines, the fact that these two should be evenly matched. Brazil overall has proven to be very strong as expected, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Ban phase though, well, it's playing out in a pretty expected fashion.
Yeah, pretty much standard bans there from W7m. Ying, Valk are their most 2 banned operators across the board. And then Castle is actually going to get taken out by Team Liquid, along with obviously the Nook to start with as well. So heading into bank for this one, massive game. Who have you got, guys? I want your thoughts here. Obviously, both teams are looking pretty hot for Liquid. Obviously, dominant performance against Falcons. Perfect start. W7m, though, they've got a couple more games under their belt.
I think I have Liquid, but only just. I think the firepower of Palu is always very difficult to shut down. Volps as well, no doubt a great addition. And he'll have some intel that he can sort of carry across from W7m. Now, they did fall short against FaZe in that upper bracket final of the Brazil League. That was one of their losses on bank in recent memory, but FaZe clearly also very, very strong at a 5-7. That's a very close result. So I think Liquid should just be edging out. That's my expectation heading into this one. But again, expecting this to be high quality siege and competitive at that.
A little bit similar to our last map that we got to cast, obviously FaZe and Space Station, a map where probably both teams aren't necessarily renowned for it, or their bank in this particular instance. Now, looking at some of the maps played, obviously for W7m over the course of the Brazil League, didn't play it. So obviously something that both teams are probably coming into this. They've worked on it, they've prepped on it, they've voted for it, and so they're ready to bring it out. And obviously, we'll see how they go. W7m will be attacking first, Liquid on the defense, and straight into the basement we go. Lockers and CCTV to begin.
So we mentioned Palu, the firepower from Team Liquid. You've been following Siege for a while. You'll obviously know that name, one of the best players in the world for a very, very long time. W7m though, a couple of players to look out for. Nade had one of, if not the highest cost, if I remember correctly, in the Brazil League for stage 1, 77%, so high impact player. JV 92 as well, +7 on the entry. So expect him to get in the face of Liquid early on during these attacks. Now we'll see Palu over towards main stairs, playing the Goyo for this opening round and doing his best to play contact on the entry. We've seen most attackers in recent times over towards bank head their attacks from stock, from CEO, getting control across the map. And Palu will want to try and put a stop to that. Canisters just stalling out the push. Keys pounced on from behind, but it's Nade to get the last laugh up above on the skylight.
Yeah, KZ almost getting that little turnaround there, top square. They do get the kill on to Volps, who goes aggressive early, loses his life on the Solus. That's a pretty big pick for W7m early on the board, getting rid of their former teammate. One that is an interesting little storyline in this particular game. So it's then we'll get the kill on to Nesk, dealing with the Oryx, and it's a really good start for W7m here early on to bank to get the 2 roamers up above. That's going to leave sight very vulnerable down towards Lockers, and Palu goes for the push actually towards Towers. He'll find the kill on to Filipok, so that's at least something back for Liquid.
Yeah, a lot of information on Palu, probably a little bit fortunate to get one, but getting back towards site will be a challenge. Reset's able to pop the hatch so Palu can seek refuge closer towards the objective, but that does now forfeit above control. So a 4v3, a plentiful amount of time remaining here for the attack to scout out sight. Keys with the Geminis can do exactly that, and then plenty of util in the hands of the remaining attackers to pull off and execute.
There's still a lot of denial available here for Liquid, so you've still got 3 gas canisters from resets. You've still obviously got the Yokai from Lagonis, which is over towards main stairs at the moment. Makes a little bit of a getaway, one towards Garage 2, in just under a minute. So there's still very good winnable conditions here for Liquid in this round, despite being down a player. Obviously resets, Palu low on health, but same with KZ. Palu, well, speaking of, finds the kill onto Nate. Herd's just trying to push down main, deals with the proxy alarm, and Palu's got 3 in this round on the Goyo, and now we can start to see some of those gas babes come out as well. Resets will get rid of KZ, and this attack has fallen apart for W7M. The final onside execution leaves a lot to be desired, and Liquid will punish them.
Yeah, classic display there from Palu, not punished enough during that roam by W7M, who were garnering enough information. They pretty much knew exactly where he was, but then allowed to cross in through elevator. Hatch then opened up by reset, so he could get back towards site and have a secondary impact in that round. But good work by Palu, and probably an indicator as to what we can expect, right, in this particular map.
Well, it's interesting because they dealt with the 2 roamers. They get a 5 versus 3 advantage, and from there they kind of kept trying to play the aggressive style, pushing down main. I think they could have maybe fallen off a little bit, and even though you still had the smoke up, the gas babes, and pushing through server in towards CCTV can get denied. I think maybe forcing out that utility earlier with that push through server could have been on the cards. Instead, W7M just kind of went gung-ho down main. Couple of kills obviously from Palu, 4 in the round, and it's a well-earned round win for Team Liquid despite losing 2 players early. And that'll be concerning for W7M. Those are the kind of rounds that the top teams will punish you if you can't capitalize on. You're not going to get too many opportunities. Double Sawyer gates over towards stock here as we move over towards open area in this second round.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
So indicative that Liquid will initiate defense up above. Probably at least 2, maybe 3 members. Resets positioning inside of archives, he can feed information with the scanner as well. Nesk will actually play an active role inside of stock, so quite aggressive. And we'll see how W7M look to counteract that. Initially going onto the roof. A couple of players available from this position. Herds will actually just sneak over towards the skylight, not looking to give away a sound cue to the defense. W7M may be cooking up something to clear out these positions in the hallway. Kanto wall open up. Just trying to maybe find a defender on an island.
Yeah, very early into the round as well to open up Kanto. Herds will actually just make the drop, so he's got top main. And with Kanto opened up, that means the hallway is obviously going to be pretty much free real estate. So really well executed from W7M. Herds, though, he gets aggressive, and Volps just times him over towards main. He thought he was sneaky. He thought he went unnoticed. But well timed by Volps. That will deal with the Ash. That will deal with a big entry point for W7M. Oh, Khalid-Pox is going to be careful here over towards Towers. Proxy alarm goes off, and he's now very much expecting probably some company. Doesn't come straight away, though.
Does he hear Palu, though? Palu aggresses will, again, though, just fall back. Good timing. Back to the drone hole to play information gathering for that Teller's entry, but it's Nesk elsewhere. W7M finding it difficult. Certainly not a good start to the round like their previous attack. Playing out on the back foot. Keys with a position main, but his position now revealed. 60 seconds here for W7M to try and find something, but Team Liquid not really presenting any opportunities. As I say that though, Keys deep. Khalid-Pox does find a pick. Player prone, that's Lagonis as Nesk falls. So effectively a 3-on-3. Keys now cooks a grenade. Palu forced to retake.
It's a 3-on-2. Nesk is down. Now he's out for the count as well. And they've got a lot of flashes as well here. W7M, nice swing from Volps, but Khalid-Pox holding the angle. Make sure that the swing couldn't come through. It's in the end a very successful attack from W7M. Just felt like they kind of walked into sight in the end. Liquid had a lot of people off site, and W7M catch them off guard. Really good push through beepers, won a couple of really critical fights. A little bit concerning there for Liquid, considering main stairs was obviously dealt with early in the round courtesy of Volps, and then they kind of left it in the mid round, and W7M will punish them.
Liquid almost just rolled out the red carpet.
Yeah.
Come into sight, it's free, it's open.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Unfortunate for Hertz there, but like this is at that point in the round, it's like, okay, well, main stairs, is that going to be a bit of an entry point Nice shot from Nesk. So 5 versus 3, but, you know, credit to W7M. Oh, that was nice.
Sharp shots all around, both teams. But unfortunately there for Liquid, just giving that opportunity, prying the door open for W7M to swarm site, apply pressure. Multiple positions were then vulnerable to the defense.
And I loved early on, they got Kanto opened up. That opens up that corridor, makes it really difficult. So immediately allows Hertz to then drop, get that position top main. And obviously got really aggressive off that, lost his life. But you're thinking about all the things that W7M did well. They did well early in that round, and yet despite that, Liquid actually still got a couple of kills. So really, really good round in the end from W7M. Despite the mid round, they ended it and started it well. Third round we go. And it's Office CEO. Office. Sorry, CEO Executive. I just had a complete brain fart. And it has been a long day.
Map 4.
It has been a long day.
You can have one mistake, but no more.
No more. 1-1, good game coming up though.
So the Monty makes an appearance here for the third round. For Leapox prepping over towards Lone to probably spearhead a push through lobby. JV92 as well in position, eager to open up Kanto, but you can see currently an Electroclaw on that wall. Impact EMP though will deal with that. Again, the versatility of the Montang on display. The wall though will remain standing, I believe.
Yeah.
So well played by Lagonis. And that now puts a lot of additional pressure here on Leapox to aid on that entry and to help isolate that player in elevator.
And the goal here obviously for Leapox is to probably push up Spiral, get a bit of that top control. Without Kanto opened up, that leaves that elevator position still quite fortified. Volps does get a little bit eager, obviously spots the Montang bottom of the stairs. It's another drone gone, 4 in the round, but 90 seconds left. Have not been able to deal with Volps though over towards elevator, still fortified, electrified as well. At the very least though, Leapox has, was in a decent position. Resets as well, burning up, but manages to stay alive and holds a bit of a precarious angle. Maybe one that W7M can still play off of in this round. The round's not over. Despite things being quite interesting, they lost for Leapox. Down a player, minute left, but obviously resets low. JV pushes in, sight flash goes out, swings Janitor. Oh, he can see him, but he can't shoot him.
So 3v2 then. Herd's forced to repel, and now in the 1v3. W7M doing a decent job in locking down these defenders, but struggling to land shots on the entry. 2 more to find, but it's Nesk to close it out.
Really solid round from Liquid. Dealt with the Montang well, and the biggest part of that round was keeping Kanto obviously locked up, couldn't get it open for W7M. That made that elevator's position really, really strong. Meant that pushing up Spiral was always going to be difficult. They dealt with the Montang. So they took a lot away, I guess, from what W7M wanted to do in that round. And so then obviously they had to adapt, they had to be versatile, had to play a little bit off the rappel, and it didn't quite work out. Resets just barely stayed alive. Those little 50-50 moments are going to be such a big play. That's a nice shot from Nesk to get the double. And at that point, Red Ping, all the sight lines available to deal with that 1v2. And Liquid will find their second round.
Well then, first rotation will complete. We go back down to basement. Team Liquid just edging out currently, but expecting this to be a hard-fought game and quite close between the two. For basement then, we will see the Oryx employed Nest to bring that out. Because we just saw in the most recent replay package on a little bit of a heater feeling himself in that last round. Finding 3 kills towards the tail end.
And defuse the bomb.
Just get the sense here, early days, 3 rounds in, both teams kind of just trying to feel each other out a little bit, and understandably so. Yeah, there's a lot of history between these two organizations, but for this year, for this stage, it's all fresh. So just kind of feel like there's, you know, Liquid not getting too over-aggressive. W7M have played well, but in a controlled fashion. Neither team wanting to really make a mistake because they full well know that the other will punish it. Arcus gets thrown down for W7M. Falls for the Nitro. just holds this position in open for now. KZ towards square. But a lot of roaming here from Liquid above for a basement site, and W7m have gone hunting.
Keys then over towards Tellers. The wall connecting two main stairs is reinforced off, so we can't use that as an opportunity to cut off that push. Instead, that's tasked to JV92. As he now joins forward, but it's been quite a passive round, both teams. As you can see, 4 defenders in basement. W7m now will just go through their checklist, try their best to open up hatches. Thatcher is available, so there's EMPs can be used to clear the Electro Claw. That's exactly what will take place. Herds will follow that up with 4x Kairos. Second EMP just to confirm that one. And with 1:20 to go, W7m can look to really sink their teeth into this attack.
KZ has made his presence known over towards server. Vulcan canister gets blown up really early in this round. So that's a little bit of that plant denial gone. With just over a minute remaining. Still no real contact. Liquid not looking to re-aggress, not looking to try and push up main. Definitely not too aggressive over towards server either. Happy to just let the flames do the talking at the moment, and then the gas babes to follow from resets as Herds does go for a lurk. No, thinks better off it. Probably more so just trying to anticipate whether Liquid want to push up main stairs. 40 seconds, baits out with beepers. There's the gas babes. So that's just going to go out. 2 more to follow from resets as KZ doesn't actually have the diffuser. That's going to be with Nade up above, who can make the drop here. Does so successfully. Trades onto site, and a nice double kill entry from Nade. They don't even have to get the diffuser down. Just great shots on site. They win the aim duels and they win the round.
And that is a real good display of what a modern basement attack looks like, right? It's near impossible at the moment to stall out enough util to go for a default plant, and that's why we have seen more and more teams gravitate towards backing themselves into hatch drop to pincer from other positions to clear out common spots that the defense will want to hold. And in that instance, W7m just win every single duel on that drop, on that entry. Now they'll equalize that scoreline, put a bit of pressure back onto Team Liquid, who almost felt like they were the ones sort of dictating the pace a little bit in the momentum in this match.
Well, they certainly didn't in that last round.
No.
That last round was all W7m. Did a really good job of sort of corralling any potential lurk over towards main. They droned it out really well, put pressure over towards elevators, forced Liquid down below. It's like, okay, we want them down there, and then we can kind of just deal with that from above. And obviously got the drop. Nice double kill from Nade. And it really well worked as well. And KZ doing a really good job of just providing a little bit of pressure over towards server. So he's just forcing out that utility over in that direction. Get the Vulcan canister dealt with, a couple of gas babes. So even though he didn't technically do a whole lot in the end on site, he did a whole lot of work in the mid round. So really good stuff from both teams thus far. 4 rounds gone, 2 to go in the half, and it's a 2-2 scoreline. Very much an arm wrestle at the moment. Back over to open area and Staff. But good signs here early on from W7m that their attack is going to be prolific enough to deal with Liquid's defense.
Swapping max.
Now, Palu still does have his deployable shield in pocket, so it'd be intriguing to track that throughout the round and see if it's something he places down reactively, depending on how W7m decide to approach the objective. It's likely that they'll want to get control up above initially, though, use that vert to flush out archives. And that sort of backs the defense into a literal corner, which this objective can sometimes play out to be. Those on the fringes, like Herds as well, can just keep the defense honest, make sure that no one strays into line of sight. Shield now down, so Palu will face that towards the vault, and that means that Herds has a more difficult entry later on in the round.
Yeah, and he can play that with the rotate halt, so he can watch the hat drop late game if he can stay alive behind that shield. Eventually, when stock potentially gets opened up by W7m. And they're just happy to give over CEO executive here towards W7m. They're not too fast, actually, with dealing with much vert at all. No pressure over towards stock or the stock hallway. Happy to just let, basically, W7m do as they like, and KZ will take advantage on that sledge. Similar battle, though, over towards Tellers that we saw in the last couple of rounds, especially with the drone game. Minute 13, still no real contact. And And to be fair, Liquid are just happy to just kind of sit on site. There's one down below that might push up main later in the round, but that's about it.
Minute then to go. Herds will continue to poke and prod the edge of the site, but it's Keys to get the first. Palu falls, the danger man from Liquid, dealt with early. Philippox wants to push in, but there's someone hiding in the midst. It's Nesk under the desk as Nade pushes through as well, but cut down. So a 2v2, GV92 to eventually find that trade, and now it's Volps, the former member of W7m in the 1v2.
Pushes in, doesn't really have a whole lot of information. Honestly, looks like he's got absolutely no idea. Very much blind on sight to the last two players of W7m. Volps would have probably liked that moment over once more, but not to be. It's now a W7m lead here on Bank, 3-2. And a bit of a gulp, and Volps now, I think, 1-5, struggling against his former team. But a fascinating round. Nesk here under the desk. I love that little call from you guys. Yeah, it worked. He got one and a second as he pops up, but obviously then everyone else was falling apart for Liquid. But where was the pressure off site from Liquid there? I think they had one bot main stairs. That was about it. They had nothing coming in over towards square side. They obviously had no pressure up above, so it was freebie for the drop for W7m. They've looked a little bit better, really, as this round has, or this first half has progressed.
I mean, you can lure the attack into that site. It's not necessarily a bad idea. But I will say, from what we saw in the previous round before that, right, on basement, W7m, when they're in position and they click their fingers and they go to site, they don't make any mistakes.
No.
So it was risky for Liquid to take that approach to back themselves in to win out the trade game. Clearly they didn't. Yeah. They leave it in the 1v2. Volps on an island in a really poor position. Never going to win that out against a team like W7m, who are proficient in the late round.
7 kills from Nesk, 5 from Palu. Not a whole lot, though, from Volps, Lagonis, and Resets. Whereas it's a very even spread for W7m, playing a little bit more like a team. And seeing the benefits of that. So deep hold in towards stock here. Shield over towards the stock hallway, outside Janitor. On this CEO site, now into the final round of this half. KZ on the rappel. But when W7m go, they don't mess around, and they go as a unit. Liquid not really offering much in terms of a counterpunch. Where's the flanks? Where's the lurks? It's all just on site. It's all a little bit stagnant on the defense for Liquid.
The Montang again then in play for W7m. Philippox scouts out lobby. It looks clear. Volps knows that though. He's close by, scanning out that drone. So he'll have a bit of a read that W7m are posturing on that portion of the map. DV92 may also want to get some control down below, but his EMPs are probably going to be invested elsewhere. W7m have not shied away from taking their time to prepare these pushes, to get themselves in optimal positions, to then trigger that push when they feel it's right, and it's DV92 to get the first. He's straight into stock, not going to take any second chances. Nesk falls, so no more Kiva barriers to go up for the remainder of this round.
Yeah, it was so well executed there from W7m. Nesk was a bit unfortunate, lost a little bit of health as well through the softball spam originally. Just over a minute left, but this is the point of the round where Liquid need to probably get moving on the defense, and we see it a little bit here from Resets over towards Elevators. Top spiral now. You saw the shots, you know he's over here, got to win this fight. KZ almost wins it out, has been downed eventually by Volps. The cavalry has arrived. Nitrocell too far here over towards Long Desk. Palu being absolutely just bullied by the Montang. Shots go out. W7m though, they've got the firepower. Now on a 2 versus 1, Hertz and JV92 to finish off Resets, who's very low in health. But they stall it out. And he's got the Yokai to play off, has been pinged out, so obviously W7m aware of its location. Got to collect that diffuser though. Oh.
Resets has information. He spotted both, but he knows he's so low on HP and he can't take a risk. W7m capitalized, and that is a strong conclusion to the first half.
Yeah, very, very solid performance from W7m. The better of the two teams in that first half, well and truly. But it is Bank. Very much can favor the attack depending on the matchup. In this instance though, W7m a lot of freedom to do as they liked. Cleared out Janitor really comfortably. Didn't really care about the mirror from Lagonis. And a 4-2 lead here on Bang has them in a really solid position.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And now they go on to the defense over towards Lockers and CCTV into the 7th round. They look solid. Now it's up to Liquid, though, to respond in the second half.
As we know, Bank can be a very, very difficult map to defend. So if Team Liquid, they're able to reset, they're able to bounce back, keep in mind as well, they have attack in the pocket that they could use as well. Very real opportunity and chance for Team Liquid to fight their way back into this game and perhaps even claim the lead. And maybe you've just joined us, maybe you didn't hear what we had to say a little while ago, but this is actually the first time Team Liquid and W7m are going head-to-head this year. Last year, though, 20 head-to-heads. Guess what the record was? Guess who do you think won more maps?
I think it was 50-50.
Well, you already knew that, but you would be right. It was 10 to 10.
I think Jesse said it also on the
He gave me a big thumbs up, so it's been approved.
Well, I'm curious to see, though, how obviously W7m are going to play here defensively, whether they want to get kind of aggressive, look for those counter punches. I love the mirror facing towards bot main. Liquid, yeah, probably left a little bit on the table defensively. They a lot of times kind of just shut up shop and just sat on site and allowed W7m to get a lot of vert, a lot of map presence. When they did kind of go for any kind of roam, it didn't work. Life drain for Volts towards main. Obviously can deal with this barbed wire. More to deal with, though. I have that sneaky suspicious feeling that this is going to be attacker-sided. I think we might have an OT on the cards. That's just my guess here. I think Liquid are going to be good enough on Bang.
Knock, knock.
Remains to be seen, though.
Well, W7m themselves being quite flat-footed on the defense here, which again is okay, but you need to back yourself in when the drop comes through that you are going to win out those initial engagements. And so far, that's exactly what they'll try to do. JV92 attempting to trick the main hatch.
Got it.
And it lands. So that's a small win on the checklist for the defense. We will see Parley reattempt with another EMP. JV92 looking to trick another hatch. We'll see if this one lands.
Got it.
Well, I think that did as well. So that is 2 big plays from the defense. JV92, especially with those electro claws. One hatch open, the other closed. Still a net win, though, for the defense.
It has been opened up. So, minute left, though. KZ. Okay, this is the aggression that I wanted to probably see from Liquid on their defense. So, really top blue stairs hold with the shield. And he peeks out and he gets a nice kill on to Nesk, probably expecting a follow-up. But no one's going to want to be that close, though. And I think this is where Liquid are going to have to think about how they want to attack this. Server hatch has actually been opened up for bot square, so he could get pinched. The KZ holds aggressively, 40 seconds, resets though, makes the solo play over towards main stairs, try to punish Nade for being out of position behind the mirror, opened up with a softball. Lagonis drops elevators, Volp's found a big kill. Now it's a 4 versus 4, and a lot of the presence over towards Volt now for Liquid on the attack. They're losing players, 3 versus 3, Nade is down. Suddenly, actually, they're finding some big kills. KZ has to come and salvage things from blue stairs. Liquid have just overwhelmed the site. And KZ's wondering what the hell has happened back here. In a 1v3, he doesn't win it out after doing a good job over towards blue stairs. Volt, though, was vulnerable and Liquid attacked it.
Well, that's what we wanted to see from Liquid to fight their way back into this game, and that's exactly what they were able to achieve. Stalled out a little bit there with the hatches, a little bit awkward, and JV92 making them really work for that hard breach. But once the hard breach was complete, once the hatches were opened up, the floodgates followed. Liquid dropping down, getting control, and catching W7m in a couple of awkward positions there, security, gold, etc. And they were eventually, though, traded out. Liquid with a strong advantage to conclude the round, and we set ourselves up now for a very interesting second half.
Well, interesting sight as well. Teller's Archives for the 8th round here, selected by W7m. Foregoing typically what you would see, I guess, is open area staff, or in what really should have been maybe a repeat down below. They opt against it. And that's going to also force out a big attacker repick as well for Team Liquid.
10 seconds to insertion.
This will be, I think, a little bit make or break here for W7m. Instead of going down below in the repeat, which I think a lot of teams typically would on Bank, especially a Locker CCTV. They go Taller's Archives. We'll see if it works. Brava bought by Volps.
Well, it is a bold decision here from the defense, but high risk, high reward game. If you're able to tick this objective off, really opens you up for the rest of the round. Keys just absolutely eats that grenade. A little bit fortunate to survive. And assuming he can play passive for the remainder of the round, he'll still be able to get those keeper barriers out.
Yeah, but you don't obviously be too passive. You go for those little peak shots, but don't put yourself in a position where you're going to break up another nade to the face. Has one to throw back the other way as well if he so chooses to. 4 drones gone here for Liquid early on. A lot of presence over towards main entrance. KZ will just hold. And let those keeper barriers regenerate. That's the main task. But this is a nice little angle. But if he gets pre-fired, he is going to die. So low on health. Fires first off the back of the logic bomb by Lagonis. They'll deal with that.
Ooh. Good drone from Nesk as well in sight. Team Liquid, I think, look pretty eager to hit this direct, cause a bit of chaos. Nesk sending it deep. KZ eventually does fall, and Nesk now with sight control is looking to really open up this round, perhaps confirm it for the team, and Herds just falls into his line of sight. A 5v3 with half the round to go, and they're falling. W7m struggling on their site. Their control elsewhere meaningless. Nade now up above in the 1v5.
Well, I mean, they've obviously tried to play a little bit above, and Liquid have gone pretty direct. They've got a lot of good site control, and yeah, questionable. And there is that moment now for W7m where you think, why did we not go back down below? Why did we not repeat? Why have we gone Taller's Archives here? You tried to pull something out. Liquid are ready for it. They seemed ready for it actually straight away with a 4-attacker repick. Nice shot from Nade, but yeah, he's just not going to be able to salvage that round from that position. And Liquid get one back. They get 2 in a row to start the second half, and Bank is shaping up to be pretty attacker-sided. They're pretty happy with how that has shaped up. That was all too easy. Now question marks here for W7m. Where do you go from here? Didn't work down below, didn't work first floor. Do you go above? Do you go CEO executive?
And again, just highlighting the importance to stay composed heading into the second half here for Liquid. Bank can be notoriously difficult to defend. And we're seeing that on display currently. Quick look at the replays from the previous round, then we'll see exactly how that was broken down. Nesk just sent it into side, and Hertz fell into his line of sight. And I believe this may have been a flashbang kill. Yeah, it was. There you go.
Okay, I missed that one. That's good. Yeah, but rolled out the red carpet straight through Archives, easy walkthrough. Obviously, then W7m tried to salvage the round. Hertz goes for the quick drop, but he's already been met by his opponent. Too late on the drop. We do go above to second floor. CEO executive for the 9th round, and it's 4-4 on the scoreboard.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Both teams looked very strong on the attack, but defensively quite shaky. Set up over towards that stock hallway. Of course, pretty much standard defense right now from W7m. And the biggest question mark is from here, what can they do to offer any kind of counterpunch, any kind of counter-attack? Because Liquid are looking really good. They're breaking down these defensive rounds pretty comfortably to start the second half.
Fortunately for W7m, there are just so many dangerous players for Liquid that you need to try and deal with. And the expected are showing up. Nesk and Palu, such a formidable duo. That goes without saying that the rest of the team doing a good job gaining information, clearing a bit of util, making calls, and sort of laying down the groundwork for players like Palu to make plays like this. Aggressive at main stairs, in a position now to lay down an offensive upstairs if he wishes. For the meanwhile, though, he'll sit and wait. You can see him coordinating it with the rest of the team, literally looking across to his teammates, waiting for that window of opportunity to push forward. It'll be quite intriguing to see just how much of an impact this play could have.
Yeah, very risky play, but it might just have the after rewards for it, and the double flashes go out to try and just preoccupy that hallway position. It worked. but he did get traded. So in some ways, it's quite messy at the moment from Team Liquid's attack. Obviously, they're pretty content with how this has played out, though. Now that they've got through Janitor, Resets will send out Logic Bomb. Nesk is very low, same with Lagunas. So even though they've got the player advantage, they don't have the health advantage, really, to say the least. Nade still with 2 nades available in this round. E1D goes out by Lagunas, pushes up towards top square. Has been spotted on the default, though, after taking it out. So position known. At least a little bit of information there for Nade and JV.
And Resets as well, holding the cross. The question will be, can Lagunas and Nesk actually get in and go for a plant because they're both so low on HP? Nade patient, JV92 as well. The plant goes
I don't think there's any
down,
Q here. I think he's going to get this off. Yeah.
No denial.
So no sound cue goes the way of W7m. They can't react in time. JV's got to push square here, and he's got to get a kill or two. And he might just be able to. Oh, what a shot from Lagunas. JV probably had to be a little bit more aggressive on the repeat after he got the little bit of contact. Lagunas was low on health. Now in a 1 versus 3 for Nade, 24 seconds, not a lot of time. Spotted by Nesk, and if it wasn't going to be Nesk, it was going to be Resets. And Liquid take the lead here in the second half, and they look pumped. I think they need a tactical timeout, W7m. They look on the ropes.
Yeah, Team Liquid looks so scary when they're up and about like this. And W7m giving them such a wide breadth, allowing them into the objective time and time again, uncontested. Good example in this round was Resets. We didn't really see him do a whole lot, but he was holding and watching that cross the entire round. So that was very, very safe.
Oh, look at this.
For the attack, especially once Lagunas confirms that. That was just cold.
That's nasty. But yeah, it was so clean. 5-4, no timeout from W7m. They opt not to. Instead, they go back down to lockers and CCTV, which Liquid won out last time. This was 3 in a row for Liquid. They've gone basically around the world here on the attack, though. W7m, nowhere is safe haven at the moment, but if there is ever a site on Bank, it is this one to find success. And they will bring out the clash.
10 seconds remaining.
What value will the clash bring if Team Liquid go for a similar execute, where they open up the hatches, they drop down, they're forceful, they're aggressive? But judging on how W7m are currently prepping, perhaps the clash will be used off-site to create a bit of a buffer. Philippot's feeding information to these players on the top floor. Herds may even be considering a jump out,
Nah,
maybe?
surely not. It looks like he's posturing for it, but I just don't believe it.
Could work. We're yet to see a jump out in this game. Besides that, he can apply pressure over towards ATM as well.
So, drone got thrown out. He sees it, but he doesn't shoot it for a reason. He doesn't want to give away his position. And I think it got shot out from a longer angle, probably elevator side at least. So Herds' position still relatively unknown for the most part, unless the Logic Bomb could be heard. And he also has been brought by Palu, so he'll look to try and get this on the right side of the ambulance in towards Garage, and Nesk and Resets have both lost their lives. So finally something goes the way of W7m, and it is that lurk up above that has found some success. Liquid get caught off guard, W7m bring out the strap book, and it has worked.
Yeah, much better. Proactive defense. Throwing something at Liquid, and they're finding it difficult to respond. Still though, with Palu up, you can never count your chickens before they hatch. But you probably can now, 2v5. So it's gonna be tricky for Palu to get into a playmaking position. Spots one, immediately shut down. So a good, confident response here from W7m, round 10.
Free timeout.
It equalizes the scoreline then, 5-5. And we find ourselves at a very interesting crossroad.
Yeah, we do. It's an interesting juncture in this road. 5-5. And a little timeout for both teams here as well. So Liquid have not only got 1 minute here, guys, but guess what? I've heard they're actually taking a timeout after this as well. So they are just full hand, just going to talk it over for 2 minutes.
Go for a little holiday.
Yeah, geez, I feel like we should just come back later. W7m also get a timeout themselves because obviously they just kind of sit around. And what's interesting is coming into this round, I thought they needed to take a timeout. 3 rounds in a row to Liquid, right? And then they come into this round, they don't need a timeout. They just bring out the strap book. They say, okay, we know what we can do maybe to catch them off guard. It works. And now they get to keep their tactical timeout in the back pocket as well.
I think the important thing to note during these periods, these unofficial timeouts, is that a lot of that will lie on the leadership within the roster, right? It's not like the coach can currently talk. That's only during an official tactical timeout.
Which will happen after this.
Exactly.
15 seconds.
Let's wait for this to play out. If you are just tuning in, W7m about to confirm this round. The scoreline will be 5 apiece in this best of 1. It's been a hard-fought battle between both teams, and just when it felt like Team Liquid had W7m on the ropes, they are now forming a very stern response.
And I think this is probably a well-timed tactical as well from Liquid. It seems probably a little strange because they won 3 rounds in a row. That round, though, everything basically went wrong, and it's sort of like, okay, this is getting towards the end of this map, right? We're getting towards the final couple of rounds. Let's really talk this out. What do we want to do? We only have to win 2 more rounds. So do we bring something out here that we think can kind of do what W7m just did, where they kind of go into the strap book, pull out a round where they can basically say, okay, we're going to be able to bank on this, no pun intended. Because we're on bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess maybe it was intended. Either way, this is a good opportunity for Liquid to close out these last 2 rounds. Not happy? No?
What is happiness, though?
Happiness
We're getting aware again.
is whatever your heart desires. That's happiness.
Well, I like good siege. And this, to be fair, has
been pretty good. I've
quite a
enjoyed
good
it.
game. It's been chaotic, especially in the late round, right? We've seen so many huge plays, especially from attack. Players sneaking in sight. Players dropping hatches, sinking trades. It's been good fun. It's been difficult to follow, but good fun.
Bombs if they can.
And we now head over to open area. Round 11. And I'm a big fan of the 5-5 scoreline. Winner, obviously, map point. Loser then on the ropes.
Well, match point, obviously being a best of 1, right? So
Yep.
good opportunity for either of these two. Of course, the winner.
They're hiding the Kaid, I think.
Winner will obviously stay undefeated here at the major. For the first time, one of these 2 teams will face defeat. How do you
10
hide a
seconds to
Kaid?
insertion.
You just throw him under the desk and they don't drone him.
5
And I'm
seconds to
almost
go.
certain they did not drone him throughout the prep phase. So, KZ is going to be a fun one to watch throughout this round as to how and where they're going to employ those electro cores, because Team Liquid may not be fully prepared for it. They didn't bring the Thatcher, but
Secondary.
they still have secondary EMPs. Not as good, but still something to deal with Util.
Yeah, only 2 of them. Double hard breach has been brought as well. So you know what? Like I think they can be okay with this as long as they don't literally throw away those EMP grenades on the side of Volps. So 5-5 into the 11th round we go. These 2 Brazilian juggernauts going toe to toe here at the major, both undefeated. Only one of them can go 2-0 though. Going over towards Beepers for Volps. And a very early logic bomb actually goes out. This is super early. He wants to push up main. Obviously, he'll get some sound cue, maybe anticipating the run back down for W7m. Down main to catch them off guard. Doesn't work. Now he can creep up. Nade holding Beepers. Is this going to be an early engagement between these 2 teams? Volps, he's got to be careful. He's already tucked in left side. Red ping goes out. He's got the information at Beepers, but it's not the other way around for Nade. He doesn't know that Volps is here. He'll fall off this position though with the Kiba barrier and says, nope. No entry allowed, and doesn't peek, doesn't swing, and therefore doesn't lose his life.
And that's the advantage of Volps not completely tearing down that barricade. Much more difficult for W7m to get that direct sound cue, and instead having to play a little bit more of game sense and intuition. Red ping as well, obviously indicative that a push may come through. Volps to peek, Volps to swing. He sees one, the head pops up a second time though, and Herds finds the kill.
Yeah, and that was that moment as well. I think Liquid just kind of wanted to go, but they maybe weren't all in the right position. Resets using the EE1D as well, the logic bomb. So trying to put a lot of pressure, perceived pressure there onto W7m early into the round. 4 versus 4, minute to go. Palu over towards long desk. And a good sightline here for Nesk, at least towards the bomb chassis. 55 seconds, no one probably close for W7m to push him behind Nesk either. Resets towards elevator, so some good pressure still towards site for Liquid, but not really above pressure, more horizontal. They've got at least one above, that being Palu. Nade with a nade opens up the wall, doesn't quite spot his opponent though.
Now Reset's just mindful of the flank, and he needs to land this shot, and he does exactly that. So a 3v3 with 30 seconds on the clock, but it's KZ to open up the account in the late round. Back to a 2v2, Nesk with site control.
KZ's in sight. Nitrocell off the red ping. I think he's done it well. No, he hasn't. Missed thrown. Flash will go out. Lagonis will step above and rise to the occasion. Gets the kill onto KZ. Philippox can play off time here. Nitrocell in hand, has to get over the B barricade, courtesy of Nade. Can he deny? He still has the Nitrocell. He can throw it off the red ping. Lagonis will get it down. Philippox gets the kill. Nesk in a 1 versus 1. He loses his life to Philippox. W7m have got match point.
Misses the denial, but plays clean up. Philippox under a lot of pressure to stand up in that clutch, and he pulls it off. Oh, W7m making a bit of noise, making sure Team Liquid know about that one.
And it felt like Liquid played well in that round, especially the onside executions. As you said, they got good site presence. They even dealt with KZ. They had the 2v1. Nice shots from Herd, so they got really good positioning. But they didn't quite deal with everyone. It was at this moment though, yeah, Nesk, he gets that kill, 2v1. They both are very close to each other, so you can see the double red ping. That gives a lot of information for Philippox. And he understands that obviously Nesk is going to peek close, that he's not going to come from a different angle. So that double red ping is massive for him. Yeah, he gets the double kill, he'll get the plaudits, but it's still a team performance there from W7m. 6-5, match point. What a journey it's been from the play-ins into the playoffs and almost up 2-0.
Now then, the onus on Team Liquid to form a response and push this game to overtime. We go to the top floor, so this will be difficult for W7m, and we've seen some of the ideas and some of the tactics that Liquid have employed on this top floor. They're big fans of getting a lurk up main stairs, trying to get pressure towards long desk early. We tracked Palu last time, and he had some success in clearing out the likes of that stock hallway position behind the deployable shield and trying his best to crack open that defense and allow then that second line of attack to follow up. So we'll see then how W7m look to prevent that entry in towards site, because in some of the other rounds, W7m have not done the best of jobs in preventing that, like preventing that entry in towards the objective that then comes back to bite them in the late round.
Reloading, cover me. Adding Overwatch.
Oh, Balu. Well, no one holding below, but good opportunity to obviously open up that mirror. Provided he can find an angle on it. And I believe he has found said angle. Just has to get the shots required. Oh, he's got to be careful. He doesn't lose his life while trying to do so. E1D goes out by Lagonis early in this round. Gets a lot of ping information on site. It's quite beneficial, actually, for Team Liquid. Just to sort of understand that it's going to be a pretty much top hold here from W7m. Not looking to do too much, too risky.
Setting a sequential breach.
Palu then sits in wait for a bit more information. Another grenade, another opportunity to push the game to overtime, but again, it doesn't land. 2 grenades still available in the hands of Volps. He's outside stock though, looking to clear Util over towards the hallway. Laconis to play Util, burn 3 flashes through the window. The grenade to follow from Volps. Perhaps found Util, certainly did not find a kill, but now playing entry.
Oh, what a swing from Herds. Shuts down that stock push. Big kill, and suddenly Liquid on the ropes, and I'm not just talking about resets here. On the rappel. Nesk at top square, and he's got the pin. They've got to flush out this hallway position. Lagonis goes nuts with a bit of help from Nesk. They do clear out the hallway. They can push through Janitor. Palu finds a big kill as well onto Nade, and suddenly KZ on site. It's up to him once again, and he deals with resets on the rappel in. And he knows that obviously Janitor is vulnerable. Catches Nesk. But well timed from JV at elevators, and he spots the gun barrel of Palu as well. This one is done. W7m are seriously here to contend at the major, guys. They are 4-0.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon and dub it. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Don't hang with it who line for nothing. I see that we different, you riding, I double. I don't do discussions on bragging about hundreds. Don't go to your places, I know that they sunken. Don't call me your brother, I barely could trust it. I talked to a shorty, she bagging the bucket. And I'ma need all of my dollars on corporate, so hand me the money, I divvy the pie. I'ma give all of my people a portion to build them a fortune. I'm flipping the ride. I can't be mixy when iffy the vibe. And 40 on 50 is really the time. Why is you all on my phone like you want me? Like you wasn't pushing the kid to the side. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling.
Philippe Hawks, how are you feeling after that one? Is the heart rate pumping?
Yeah, pure adrenaline pumping my body. Yeah.
Pure adrenaline is what we love to hear. Now, for yourself and your team, I gotta ask, obviously we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, you and Liquid have played against each other an awful lot, especially last year, 20 maps between you. How do you kind of change things up when it comes to playing in a tournament, an official tournament like this one?
Yeah, I wasn't on the team last year, but there's always a good rivalry against them. I don't know, sorry for my pronunciation, but yeah, we knew that they would prepare for maps like Villa, Oregon, and we thought that bringing them to Bank would surprise them, and I thought we did, yeah.
So did the castle ban take you by surprise at all? Did it change up your defense in the slightest?
Yeah, it did a little. It did change 2 or 3 defenses, but we could manage that pretty good.
So do you feel like you had kind of given away a hint of what they should expect of your defense on Bank? Because I know out of the 20 kind of maps, the 20 games that you'd played against them, you only actually played Bank versus them once. So do you feel like you'd given away much?
No, I don't think so. We know that they don't like to play Bank a lot, and we don't too. So, yeah.
Amazing. Well, as we take a look at some of the highlights from your game, let's talk a little bit more about the fact now that you've managed to go 2-0. What's next for yourself and the team?
Yeah, now we're going to see who we're getting and prepare for tomorrow.
Is there anybody that you are worried about playing? Anybody that you really do want to play?
No, like I said yesterday, anybody.
Anybody and everybody. Yeah. Do you feel like you're the team that some other regions might be scared of facing now? Because obviously known for a little bit of an aggressive play style.
I think so. We have Casey, so everyone's scared.
Everybody's absolutely terrified from him. So any kind of final words for the folks at home? Anybody from the region that's been supporting your journey so far?
Obrigado aí, galera que tá torcendo, assistindo sempre a gente. Agora vamos para a partida aí do 3-0 e, se Deus quiser, conseguir a classificação para os playoffs aí. E continuar evoluindo. Obrigado aí a minha família que tá vendo. E é isso.
Exactly what he said. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
What a lovely chap, isn't he? He said it best himself. Adrenaline's pumping. The team are feeling hyped and ready. And you know what? It paid off for them.
Yeah, I think the one thing that you'll always get with a Philippe Hawks interview is he gives you exactly what he's thinking and exactly what the truth is. And I thought, you know, W7m, we speculated whether it was to take Liquid to Bank and, you know, pull it out of the... He even said, we don't like Bank. We know they don't like it, but we don't like it, but we're going there.
Yeah, we were speculating about that, so it's good to know. Like, that's exactly what happened. This was a permaban that they brought out, surprised Team Liquid, worked beautifully for them. W7m came in with a well-executed plan, and they absolutely deserved this win.
I thought this game genuinely was 2 Titans going at it. You know, with the Swiss stage, there's a very good chance that you're going to see either semi-finalists or finalists play up against each other in the Swiss stage. today's one of those days, right? With it being a 7-5, a 1v2 clutch being the differentiating factor. Would I want to see this again in the final? Absolutely. It was coming down late round to clutches, to executes, to big plays, big moments, and that's exactly what this siege is all about.
Yeah, I think the executes really were the star for me. That first half especially, you take a look at W7M, a lot of times they were going down. They had 2 separate 2v4s that they won, right? The first one coming in, well, JV and Herds got one around number 6, then KZ and Felipox 3v5, excuse me. Still 2-man disadvantage, pushing in, having a massive impact to just swoop in and claim a round that they really had no business winning. Liquid oftentimes felt like they were getting caught off guard inside those bomb sites. They weren't able to trade. Their positions were just a little rough. We see this beautiful clutch from Felipox in the 1v2, round number 11, push them on a match point. Man, what a fun game.
I was in that room. I was in this room for that clutch, and it was so loud. And just a quick touch on the castle ban as well. I thought the castle ban was really good. For it, you know, it kind of, as soon as W7M got on the defense, it kind of shoehorned them into, hey, we used to control the crowd with castle. We don't have that. How are we going to do it? It was a good game plan from Liquid, and, you know, but for a 1v2 clutch, we're going into overtime and we're seeing where it lands in overtime. So, you know, a quick shout out to Liquid on that one as well.
Sure.
So prior to entering the Swiss stage, do you think fans at home, or potentially even yourselves, if you were shown the 2 teams on paper, who would you have had winning the matchup?
I said Liquid before the game. I probably still would have said Liquid before the game. You know, they brought in a great player in Volps. They've improved their team. For W7M, they had a little bit more of a drastic change. So I think I would have said Liquid. To be honest, nobody really was talking about W7M before this tournament as potential winners. A lot of people, you know, they weren't. It was a lot of talk about G2, M8T, Liquid.
Yep.
Everyone's talking about W7M now.
Absolutely.
We've had amazing matchups thus far, but it is time for me to feel all sad once again. We're down to our final best of 1 today. It's going to be Dark Zero taking on Sonics. Jesse, you're going to stick around with me, but Fred...
He's got to lose that one.
Oh,
and he's going to win it too, though.
I can see them kind of staring at you guys, so Fresh, all eyes are on you a little bit.
Oh, I mean, look, I think the Sonics have got a bit of a mental block when it comes to playing against North American teams at LAN.
Yeah.
You know, when they went out at 6 Invitational, they went out with 2 consecutive losses against North American teams. That will be in their minds.
The regional matchups, we've had them time and time again throughout today, though. How are you feeling about regional matchups we've had thus far? Obviously, we ended up having Europe, and now we're in the NA side of things.
I mean...
Go on, start chilling, go on.
You can debate whether EU is better than NA, but the...
EU on top.
Or Brazil, but the Brazil matchup was much better than the EU matchup.
I don't know, the EU matchup was close as well. I mean, we've had 2 EU matchups, the G2 matchup earlier.
Okay, fair.
I was thinking about the G2
one.
But the second one, yeah. I mean, VP are going to win the whole thing, so that's why.
Maybe.
You know.
Are we feeling VP's going to win the entire tournament?
Oh, I am now.
Major?
My head's so spun. I'm on the train.
Ooh,
scary.
the hype train is well and truly underway, but we'll be back very shortly to dive into our final best of 1 today.